What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at a title called Combat Complex. This is kind of an interesting one that I just picked up while I was going through lists on Steam. The game's currently got a demo that you can check out, and the best way that I know how to describe this demo is that it's kind of like Alien Swarm, Diablo, maybe some synthetic in there. It's like all of those games had a baby, and while the game is really primitive right now and it's in a very early form, I do think that you can feel some of the promise inside the title already. So ultimately, it's also a very slow week, so I decided to give it a go. You know, I'm in one of those weeks where I just don't have any videos to show off, I just don't have any games to play. And so since we're going through this slow period, I'm deciding to give, like, the little guy a shot here. So Combat Complex. The demo's available right now. You can look down below in the description, and we'll have that for you. You can also take a look down there. You'll find a link to my Discord and my Twitch stream, just in case you wanted to hang out live. But let's dive on into the game. So in Combat Complex, you are on a planet inside some kind of mining facility or some kind of industrial facility. The game hasn't been really super clear about it. That's being overrun by its own drones and robots, and also being overrun by loads and loads of bugs. You are one of the last remaining Space Marines, and you're trying to fight your way out by interacting with various cabinets and things of that nature in order to give yourself and other people on the station a chance to survive. The game's got a loot system. It's got very good combat, actually. I think there's a lot of good vision here inside of the combat, but keep in mind that this is effectively, at this stage, sort of a tech demo. The game is not complete. There's a lot of, apparently those guys are stuck in behind crates. That's going to be one of the things they need to get cleaned up with their spawning orders and their spawning locations and whatnot. But keep in mind that this is kind of like a tech demo. It's very, very early on in its infancy right now, but I think they have enough of the pieces in the right spot where the game feels good to play. It's just that everything else needs to be fleshed out as of right now. So what are we looking at? Well, I'm crawling. The game is effectively structured like, I don't know if you ever played Diablo 3, but the entire game is sort of structured like rifts, I guess. You go down deeper, the levels get harder and harder. It's up to you to decide when you want to advance or when you feel like your equipment is ready to rock. Oh my goodness gracious. Almost got pinched right there by an elite. That was super bad. It's up to you when you want to decide to go down. Loot will drop as you go through. There's a handy-dandy railgun right there that we could check out if we were trying to get ourselves geared up. The game has very simple controls. W, A, S, and D are going to be how you move around the map. And then from there, on your left click, you've got your primary weapon. On your right click, you've got your super weapon, which in my case is a railgun. There's not a lot of gun variety right now. That's one area where the game very much needs to improve. I've gone through, I think, the entire first set of levels, and as of right now, all I've seen is shotguns, railguns, and assault rifles. And while all of those guns feel really good, and they feel nice to play with, the game definitely needs a lot more guns on its overall gun roster. SMGs, pistols, knives, melee, you know, miniguns, all that kind of stuff needs to be implemented about as soon as possible. I don't think I would have released the demo without that stuff at least being on in there. However, control method is very simple. You press F to swap in between your shotgun and your assault rifle. All of those guns feel very good to play around with. You right-click to use your super weapon, and they gave you a little bit of spammability on the super weapon, which I think is a good idea. It makes it feel a lot more satisfying than if it was just like one shot and done. From there, you do have a dodge roll. That's going to be on your spacebar that you can play around with. Oh my god, I don't even know what's happening down in here. A whole lot of mayhem is what I'm guessing. I'm just going to kind of like fall back for a minute and pray for mercy. Another area where this game diverges from other similar titles is that imagine Diablo, but if all the enemies' bullets affected one another, which means that a lot of the time in this game, it's actually a really good idea to fall back to like a choke point and just let them murder each other with friendly fire. And I don't know if I've ever seen that inside of an action RPG before. Action RPG is kind of a loose term for the game right now, just because there is no progression system other than gear inside the current demo. I would like to see what their progression system is going to look like for level ups and the way that you're going to be able to focus, or if they're just going on like a purely gear-based experience here. that much is not clear. I went through pretty much every single thread on the game's forums, just kind of trying to feel around and figure out exactly what they were going for with the title and like other people's observations and things of that nature. But as of right now, no level ups, no XP to be seen. I don't know if that's going to be a permanent decision that they're going to play around with, or if all progression inside this title is going to be entirely linked to your gear. Not super sure as of right now, but the game does feel really good, which is ultimately why I decided to give the game a shot. That white orb that I just picked up right there, that's going to be kind of like a combo orb. These little shield guys reflect everything back at you except for your super weapon. And so normally you got to trick someone else into killing them for you because they reflect all the bullets back with shocking accuracy. It really, really hurts. Time to kill right now is actually quite good inside this title. I just moved up to a new tier of Rift, air quotes though, so you're going to note that I'm not hitting very hard right now. That's because this is like the first level of a new difficulty, and so my weapons have all effectively been dropped down in their effectiveness right now. I ran out of levels that I was farming on the previous level trying to get ready for this, and so unfortunately, nowhere to go but forward. But as I was saying, treat this kind of like a tech demo or like a proof of concept. I definitely think there's enough content here to get you through like the first couple hours of gameplay if you find that it grabs you. And that's why I gave the game a shot, is because they've got the bullets and they've got the gore and they've got the death and all the feedback from killing stuff feeling very good on in here, which makes me hope that the other stuff is going to get fleshed out as time goes along. There's our exit gate. We only picked up like one item. I think I'm going to cruise back through the level real fast and make sure that I didn't miss anything. There are secret doors and things of that nature that you can go after. The environments are somewhat destructible. I would probably argue that most of the destructible areas in this game probably could use like half as much health. Like, it takes a long time to destroy, like, a barrel rack or, like, a forklift or whatever. And sometimes you have to do that in order to advance. Oh, we got, like, a little turbocharge right there. So the turbocharges are effectively a gameplay mechanic that tries to keep you focused on moving forward as much as possible. What I really like here... There's a map terminal? Okay, I've got a map update. What I really like here is as this little meter in the bottom left-hand corner fills up as you pick up orbs, your bullets change color to match the color that are going through there because it's giving you a damage boost and also a movement speed boost. It gives you kind of this nice little, I guess, onus to continue playing aggressively and trying to move as fast as possible. That's a secret door right there, in case you didn't know. Gave me some item find. It looks like it gave us a loot chest as well with some passive abilities. We also got a scan surroundings charge. You'll see what that looks like once we get up to the next level. But, oh, there's multiple floors to this complex. All right. We gotta make it through multiple floors. I thought we were done. I thought I was about to bank my gear. Unfortunately, if you die, you end up losing all of your loot, and you gotta start over from the beginning. That's very, very frustrating in this respect, because we've got an epic on us right now, and so I would rather not die early if I can help it. So I'm trying to slow play this right now to get it done. There we go. Let's knock that guy on out. Perfect. We got a lot of bugs coming through. We'll probably swap over to the shotgun for a minute just to let the other gun cool down. I don't see any doors or anything over there that I can cruise on through. But let's keep moving northeast through the complex. Ooh, we got that guy right there, huh? We got one of the little reflecty boys. Alright, by and large, most of the attacks in this game are very, very visible. They are easy to see, they're easy to telegraph, they are easy to figure out, and it's just the chaos of the fight that tends to get you into trouble. I've got a build right now where all the kills that I get are giving me health back, because normally you only get health back from like the blue orbs or whatever. It also seems like the game has a split between deciding whether or not you want to have like a shield build going on. Shield tends to give you a little bit less HP, but it does regenerate very quickly when you're not taking damage. Ugh, these guys got me locked down over here. Having to fight them from off screen. Ooh, epic shield belt though too. I'll take that. It seems to make you want to choose between like attack power on your weapons and on your gear versus like additive effects, or shield versus HP, that kind of stuff. Shield tends to be a little bit thinner, but it regenerates very rapidly, whereas HP, you get a lot more of it, but it doesn't regenerate at all. From what I've seen so far, you've got to find those blue orbs on the ground in order to heal yourself, and the blue orbs do disappear. They want you to play aggressively. Unfortunately, our damage is not really where it needs to be right now in order to make that happen, and so I'm doing a lot of falling back and like clearing back to defilade right now in order to get this done. We'll wipe that guy on out. We'll go back to the AR and then move up to the top left. You can definitely feel the Alien Swarm influence on this one, for sure. If you've played Alien Swarm before, it's got that vibe to it. Ooh, a third floor to the complex, huh? You're making me feel nervous now. We're getting them big gambas out at the moment. Probably just fire a railgun back that way. I'm trying to bait this guy back on through and see if I could get him to come up and shoot at me from a little bit closer, but he wasn't going for it. It's like he knew what my plot was, man. Go ahead and wipe them on out. Good. Get a clear right there. Did not get my blue orb, though, which vibes me out, man. Hey, grenade got that guy for us, which is nice. Light him up real fast. Watch out for the orbs. Grab that one right there just for the little DPS boost. Yeah, we got a reflecty guy right there. We're going to have to figure out a way to deal with said reflecty guy. There's not like a lot of grenades or anything like wiping him out either. See if I can get him with the railgun, I guess. My railgun stacks like a heat dot on them that'll kill them through their shield. I have been very, very hesitant to remove that buff from my gear, even though I found better things, because the shield guys are just really difficult to deal with a lot of the time. I need to dodge through there. You do get iframes on your dodge, in case you were wondering. Got that covered. I like the little cracks and things in the ground that open up as the enemies die as well. That big choom noise that it makes whenever an enemy dies is pretty swell, too. That was a magic find pickup. I tried to get aggressive to go after it, but if you hit these guys' little shields, it unfortunately stuns you, and you take a little bit of damage, so we're going to need to regenerate a little bit. The things I do for loot in this life. Let's keep clearing the complex. I do think they're going to need a lot more floor plans. Oh, no, dude. Oh, that was almost the end right there. As with all other action RPGs, this game kills you very, very rapidly if you get caught out of position. The one-shots definitely exist inside this title. If that's one of those things that annoys you, you might not like this game very much. That death ray that they use right there has ended many a character and deleted many items from my backpack if you just get caught in a bad spot, because the enemies, they do have collision. They block your freedom of movement. Oh my god. So many elites. If they catch me, it's going to be all bad too. Got some boots right there, though. There's no guarantee that we're going to get any of this loot off the level yet, though, and this is looping around a long way, which is making me think things are going to get worse before they get better. Try to weave in between the bullets right there. We got our HP back up to full, though, which is nice. Death Laser Guy's going to kill everybody by stomping on them on accident, which worked out for me because I didn't want to deal with the bugs anyways. Enemy variety in this game, it starts out strong, but then gets weaker as you go along. And so, like, there's probably 8 or 9 different types of enemies right now. In the beginning of the game, when everything is fresh and new, and they're frequently showing up, well, I tried to do a force push right there, but it didn't work out for me. The blue enemies that you're seeing are the ones that have, like, way more HP and they hit way harder. I think they also have a higher loot drop chance, though, so a little bit of risk-reward there for you to play around with. Keep wiping out some bugs down this way. But as I was saying, the enemy variety in this game definitely needs work. I am on the second batch of levels right now. I would say I've probably played through about 10 levels at this point, and I'm not really seeing new things anymore. I am seeing mods of old things that have like a recolor and like a health boost or like an aggression boost or something like that. But by and large, I think the game needs a little bit more enemy variety. As I said, tech demo. I think the point of this entire demo is just to get across the game feel and like whether or not it feels good to play, and I'm happy to say that it does. It's actually a fairly satisfying game to play. I think that if they can get it tacked out with all the progression systems and the level ups and the skill points and all that kind of stuff, oh, that could be super bad. Yeah, I need you to go away right now. If they get it tacked out with all that extra accompaniment, I think they'll be in really, really good shape, and actually this will probably be one of those games that'll grab onto people. But as of right now, I think what they got across with the demo is that the gameplay feels good, but we need more level floor tiles, so like different biomes effectively that you play through as you go along. I do think actually that the game would benefit a lot from also having access to not just that, but more more visual focal points for the maps. What I mean by that, oh nice, it wiped them all out right there in the corner with the death ray. Hell yeah. What I mean by that is visual focal pieces for the map, things like giant cranes that you're fighting around. So normally with games like this, what you want to do to break apart the monotony of the procedural tiles is that normally you want to have like center fixtures or like a visual idea that the whole thing transpires around or fights around or revolves around. Those are very, very good things to break apart just the monotony of procedural generation there, and so I would recommend getting some of those in there. So like, what if one level took place around a giant like nuclear cooling pool, for example, and instead of having the crates and stuff around, it had lots of pipes running around that had translucent glass on them that had water running through it with little bubbles and things of that nature? What if one area was almost like a Garden of Eden, sort of this is where the space colony grows all their food, and there's lots of things in the service of growing food and agriculture in there, little rakes and stuff laying around, you know, things of that nature. If you're in like a heavy industrial area, having things along the side that are obviously stamping out steel plates and conveyor belts and stuff like that, even though the tile set remains kind of the same, can help break that apart and make it feel better. But full tile sets the game's going to need. The game is also going to need sort of like visual focal points and whatnot to break apart the visual monotony of procedural generation. Those are all very, very good ideas to get implemented. They're by no means required, but they would make the game feel better. The game also has this propensity of spawning enemies right on top of you from time to time. That just needs to flatly go. I think the bugs do it the most when they burst out of the floor. So you'll move up to engage with some robo-nerd, and then a bunch of bugs will come up out of the ground, and then you'll just be trapped and boned right there since they all have collision. If there was no collision and you could potentially like dodge through them, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But since they do have collision and they can actually like wall trap you and you can't like get out of it, it can be a little bit of an annoyance. And so they're going to want to ease up on that, or at least visually identify where the aliens are at on the ground so you can avoid falling into traps like that by using a little bit of the old perception. That having been said, though, I think the core basics here are very promising. Is it fun mulching bugs and mulching all these bad guys? Absolutely. It actually feels really, really good. The goodness of how the game feels is one of the reasons why I brought up synthetic, because to me, synthetic is one of those games that just feels incredible. Like, everything about the game feels tacked down and heavy and visceral and has clank to it. The game feels pretty good while you're fooling around with it. Like, it feels nice to mulch all the bugs and kill all the bad guys. I would like your yeah, if you could just take him off my shoulders real fast with your laser, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Are we out of here? What is this? Do I gotta open something first? Is there like a keypad or something around that I gotta fiddle with? A flamethrower. Well, there's a new weapon that I haven't seen in the, let's say, 2 hours that I've been playing the game right now. Maybe I just got really unlucky with my loot drops. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. I think it just wanted me to collect my loot crate. I don't know. It's now open. But it took us 20 minutes to get through that one. That's not bad. Apparently I found 7 tickets as well. I don't know what tickets are. I think the tickets are... Actually, I know what the tickets are now that I think about it. So as you play through the game, there's going to be a comms terminal over here where you're having a conversation with a member of staff or like a girlfriend or something. I'm not really entirely too sure, but you are talking to somebody along the way and they're kind of guiding you around. When you get out of here, you are going to want to equip all of your gear. There's no visual difference as of right now to any of the stuff that you're equipping. 95 DPS shotgun. I'll add 101 DPS shotgun. Even better. I've got a better railgun right there, but I'm going to lose my lifesteal and I'm going to lose my fire dot. So we've got a couple of epics over here. We've got 13 hit points, physical damage, life, pickup radius, shock damage multiplier. Over here we've got chain lightning jumps. We've also got fire damage added onto our attacks. I'll probably go with that right there because the fire damage is really nice for bypassing shields. I like to put stuff down at the bottom, by the way. When I go through, that gives me move speed. I'll take the move speed. A flamethrower. That's going to be a right-click ability, huh? I'm kind of curious about it. so I'm going to give it a go. I haven't seen any other primaries so far as I've been playing through. We've got the mistake mitigator. I'll take the primary weapon cooling on that. That sounds good. And then we'll throw all that stuff down there. There are no shops or anything in the demo right now. You just get rid of all the stuff that you don't want. From there, there are areas over here that'll let you fill things on in. So it looks like there's going to be crafting and like disassembling or something as you go through the game. And then this guy right here is for your skills. So it looks like there is some kind of progression method that's intended. But this is kind of how the game plays out right here on the map. So what you can do is you can scan your surroundings. You can find map terminals and things that will uncover these and the bonuses that you might get, like all the branching paths that go through here so that you can find the exit. I'm guessing these levels are going to get really big and sprawling. In the early game, it doesn't really seem to matter altogether that much whether or not you scan or uncover levels, but, you know, it's implying future... Ooh, new enemy. A mine layer, huh? Yeah, that could potentially be problematic. Go ahead and put some fire. Ooh, the fire's nice. I like that. Okay. Fire's feeling pretty good. Overheats kind of quickly. I don't know. Oh, you can just run past them. Okay. I was worried they were going to go off instantaneously when I stepped on top of them. Flamethrower you down. Maybe a better idea to use this big shotgun that we've got at the moment. I would like to be able to shoot the mines or something, though, to get rid of them. First floor's already done. Fair enough. I've got a combo running right now, so I'm trying not to waste it. It doesn't kill enemies fast, but it does kill them. We also have a special ability, by the way, on our E key. I haven't been using it a whole lot because it's just like a pushback that doesn't do any damage. It basically launches everything off the screen like that right there, in case you hadn't seen it yet. Keep firing down that way. I don't even know what I'm shooting at, but something's shooting at me from down there. So I might as well give it a go. Now that he's stunned, my assault rifle has a stun modifier on it that, like, stuns and locks down enemies. Hey, wristbands, a little bit of combo right there. I'll take it. Big laser mook over there that needs to get got. Blue rifle. Excited to see what that's going to end up being. Let's not get grenaded right now. I would love to not catch a grenade. Oh my god. That is a lot of bombs. So I need you to go. I need you guys to come down around the corner, but I'm a little bit worried about getting trapped here. I don't know what the play is. If I can at least... They don't want to come out here for sure. There we go. Get a little bit of fire dot on them. They're definitely locking me down pretty good, though. Oh my god in heaven. Yeah, that was a nasty pack right there. A lightning gun. Okay, now we're starting to see some variety. I like it. Okay, that's what I played for like an hour and a half and never found anything other than a rifle or a shotgun or a railgun, so I thought that's all there was, but I'm glad to see there's like more stuff to fool around with here. Maybe I just had like ridiculously terrible loot luck. It's kind of hard to say. Oh, flamethrower is so good for that pack right there. That was the good stuff. All right, let's keep on cruising here. I'm just going to flamethrower my way out of a situation that I flamethrowered my way into. The flamethrower is going to be especially nice for those little shield guys right there, because they are obnoxious. Shield guys, get you all flamed up. Oh, we got tendrils spreading. There's going to be more bugs. Shield's down. That's unfortunate. Would rather my shield not be down. Flamethrower them up. Ooh, we got reflecty guys over here. All right, let's see if we can get them both with the push. Nice. I'm actually kind of preferring the flamethrower to the railgun. Like, the railgun has its appeals, but I think the flamethrower is nice just for its ability to penetrate shields. You also, like, dot up all the enemies real fast and then, like, finish them off. I do like how there's certain enemies that require you to swap to a different weapon type real fast in order to, like, effectively deal with them. Otherwise, you get super inefficient. Oh, more of you guys, huh? That's fun. Well, there's one down. I knew more of them were going to spawn if I overcommitted. I knew they were. Luckily, the bombs take out the other enemies, too, so, like, while they're filling the area with just kind of mayhem, it should be manageable. But I think they've got their feet planted in the right spot. I guess my concern with this game would be, does a small team have the resources effectively to make the type of game that they're making? So there's a lot of expectation that come along with the title Action RPG that unfortunately prices out a lot of indie developers. So things like the texture work and the model work for having differentiated armor sets and things that look different, different guns, different models, different things of that character, tend to be very, very expensive to produce in the world of gaming. Like, those are very time-intensive affairs, and I consider them to be pretty much mandatory for a game of this type. At least for me personally, a big part of the reason why I play action RPGs is looking cooler as I get towards the end game. That's one of the reasons that I really didn't blend very well with Diablo 3, is that it's mostly cosmetics, you know what I mean? And then, like, once you have a look, you stay there forever regardless of what you're wearing. I tend to like the old school action RPG vibe, where you look like what you're wearing as you go along, and the outfits and whatnot get more sophisticated and cool looking and have more LEDs and more, you know, RGB on them. But maybe that's just like me personally when it comes to titles like these. But as I see it right now, enemy variety could be brought up a little bit going out from here. I definitely think that's going to need work. That's not quite as important as needing more tile sets and, like, more layouts and more central visual features and things of that nature to make the game look more robust and more interesting as you play through it. However, we're looking at a very limited version of what the game has to offer right now, which is the part that makes me very hesitant to sort of comment on those things, just due to the fact that they may already be in the work. Like we were talking about progression systems earlier, and when you go back to the base, the progression systems are there. It's just like they're not in early access yet. And so this becomes one of those big questions about, like, what has not been implemented yet versus what is not intended to be implemented as you go along. And that's, like, dangerous territory for a guy like me. So what I will say is, for Combat Complex, they've got a really good-feeling gunplay system. It appears as though they very much understand. They've got weapons in here that all do different things and affect enemies in different ways. And hot swapping and using different weapons is, like, 100% required to be maximum strength efficient at this time. I'm going to keep just, like, flamethrowing dudes. There we go. I'm getting shot back a little bit, though. I hate getting shot back. These guys are getting a boost, too, to the damage that they deal, because all enemies have, like, a 150% range damage modifier on this mission. So that's going to be a little bit of a nightmare, too. Dot him up real quick, then finish him off like so. The things that matter here are feeling good. Dodge rolling feels good. Shooting guns feels good. That's a good thing in a game that is principally about shooting guys in the face. Killing enemies feels good. All of the weapons that I've played with so far, they all feel good. The enemies feel threatening, like you need to respect them, and yet they've got themselves a nice cross-section here between needing to respect the enemies and also absolutely mulching through hordes of them while avoiding fire, which I think has put the game in a really good spot. One of the things that I look for when I look at titles like this is, like, do the basics feel good? Like, do the core aspects of the title that are required for the content pitch that the game is going for feel nice? And I'm glad to say they've already got that locked down. Like, no adjustment needed by and large. The game already feels nice to play. Oh, nice. They stepped on the mines. Hell yeah. Well, that's going to buy me a little bit of breathing room. All the things like the running, the shooting, the abilities, the stuff like that, they all feel really good. In fact, they feel better than good. They feel great, which makes me think that they know what they're doing here, especially when put in combination with, like, the weapon hot swapping, which is obviously a very important part of the game, They've got that figured out. Oh, my God. We almost bit the big one right there. We almost bit the big one handily. I'm going to need stun lock. There's so many of them. God, all the stuff that matters feels great with this game. Now comes the question of just like, what is content going to look like? How many enemy types are there going to be? How many gnarly modifiers are there going to be on enemies as you go through the top? Oh, you guys got trapped by crates. It's okay. It's happened to me too. Can I even get through there? Is there another path that leads over there? That might not be destructible. I've had trouble figuring out what's destructible and what isn't in the past. But the basics are in play here for a really good action RPG. The question just comes down to, are they going to be able to get the different armor graphics and gun appearances and all that little visual thing that matters, the level appearances, the level variety, things of that nature that all needs to be on in there. What is that going to look like as the game goes towards its final development terminus? But for now, the demo is completely free. You can check it out right this second. I guess what it comes down to at this point is like all my thoughts are sort of like speculative. I like the core gameplay. The core gameplay feels great on a level that I don't think I've felt a game that feels this good to play in a little while when it comes to these genres. Ooh, we got a leeching shotgun with like a different graphic, huh? That's nice. I'll go ahead and take that. We've got a very upgraded assault rifle right there that is apparently going to make lightning arc in between our enemies. We've got 20% primary damage right there. Oof, I think we just got the pickups that are going to take us all the way through. So we got a gravity vortex. That pulls enemies towards me, and my general experience so far has been that I don't want enemies towards me. I want them away from me as far as humanly possible. We've got shock damage. We're losing 24% damage right there. But it is going to raise up our proc chance on the lightning on our gun, so I'm willing to give it a try. We've got a lightning gun right there. I would like to try that out. I just equipped a bunch of stuff, though, that makes my fire a lot stronger. So I just want to check out the new gun, though. I haven't really had any new guns this entire time. And so, like, that's why I'm drawing the mission a little bit longer, is because I want to see what this lightning gun looks like and what it feels like to play around with. So it looks like it just throws out little arcs right there. Okay, I can probably live with that. I do feel like our time to kill is getting a lot better. Yeah, it feels pretty good to take on enemies here, but this combat complex, I think it's promising. I think the demo is on the earlier side as far as demos go, but the good news is they've got all the basics in the right place to make the game feel fun and satisfying to play. You can kind of see where it's going, and now it just becomes a question of, is that stuff going to get implemented? From there, my name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we were fooling around with a little bit of the old combat complex. Tomorrow, we'll be playing around with something else. Thank you for spending your time here, and it is time for me to go. Bye, folks.